What's going on? What's going on? No one's in here yet, but I'm going to say, what's going on? I have a lot of work to do. And I'm going to start by reviewing my last drafting session. I actually had recorded it, and it was 7 hours long. Just to find out that it had no audio. I didn't know that actually anyone would have any interest in watching 7 hours of video, but I was going to do it because sometimes people like to watch and just listen in. And if I say something that might be interesting, they actually go and check it out. So I think I'll start just by reviewing what I did in that 7 hours in short form. I've got a project that came from someone else, and that someone else contracted with someone else to do this project in the first place. So I don't think there's any problem having this person's name on the page, because even though it represents their label, their brand, they're hiring me to make this, to handle a plan check response letter. But they also understood that I was going to improve the overall look of this anyways. I ended up doing so much work that I had wished that I had just started from scratch. It probably would have been faster. But let's just take a look at what I have done, just to give you an idea. I'm a big stickler for having a layout across the layout, quote unquote, that lines up from page to page, okay? Which means that I need to understand the building model. I need to understand all the views that we're sending from the building model, so that I understand how I can fit it on a page, so that then I can get my spec writing in, get my annotations in, get my schedules in a place that where everything fits. Now, if I had started this project from scratch, I would have upped the sheet size, because this project is large enough that it's really starving for space. On a print set, I almost never want to get this close to the binding, but I have to get this close to the binding just to fit everything on the page for this particular project. So that's kind of why I wish I had just started from scratch. So something you'll notice as I flip through the page, and I want to show you the previous version of this first, actually. I want to go back and show you what I received. Again, this was some outside contractor that had done this, and really they did a good job, but it's just not up to my standards, and I have a hard time walking away from things like this. I also want to say that I'm absolutely losing my butt on this project, because I just have my standards, and I'm going to go ahead and eat up my profit and potential value out of this project, because I just want it. That's how I want it. I just want to represent my product in a way that feels true to me. And so I'm going to fix a bunch of things. So right off the bat, this was what I received. And something I want to note is that we've got 5 different fonts in this plan. They're all at different print sizes. We've got one print size here, different print size here, different font, different print size, different heading size, different colors in the title block, different print in the title block. It's just kind of all over the map. And then if we kind of quickly flip through the pages, you'll notice that things not in alignment. It's going to take a second to flip through cross sections as it builds out that. As we flip through this, look at this. The plans just jump all over the place. And we've got data in different places. We've got labels in different places. From the standpoint of a digital set, this is really difficult to read. Okay, got data on the right-hand side, redundant plans there. It just kind of bounces and goes all over the place. Okay, and so this invites scrutiny. And again, different font sizes, different standards. The next thing that I noticed as I started to dive in on this is that there's too much information. And this information isn't really easy to figure out. And we've got no reference to where we even find what this information is calling out. Okay, and that's still something I have to build for. One of the main things I want to review in this first 30 minutes is that I've got a method for limiting your liability through the use of macros and linking callouts or linking schedules to things. Can't link schedules, but producing schedules for things. And the way that that limits liability is we're utilizing something that has a known value, and we're using that all across the plan set. So something like this call out. Yeah, it says S9, but it actually isn't telling us what page this is on. And S9 is something that is hand typed, as opposed to me being able to build something where S9, once we change it in one location, it's changed in multiple locations. Once we link it to something, it's reporting its page data. So that's the approach I was taking with this. When I first bid this project, I didn't look closely enough to see just how messy this is. I mean, this is not a legible plan set. This doesn't work for us, right? So that's what's going on here. And so I ended up cleaning this up. I ended up cleaning up a ton of this. So let's go over what I'm talking about there. Let's get into where I'm at in this plan now. Kick up comments in case people are making comments. Okay. So I haven't touched those first 2 pages other than kind of standardizing some of the headings. And you'll notice we're using all caps everywhere. So even in this sheet index, I need to make sure that I'm using all caps, or we're picking up that title text style and we're just choosing uppercase. And now we've got a standardized look here, right? All these are using the same font. They're at the same bold, uppercase, etc. I don't like that this sheet index is just kind of floating. Something to note when you're building a G1 page, and by the way, I would change this to a G1 page, is that you want to keep away from snapping in grids like this. The reason for that is, let's say I need to actually update this this section right here. Well, I want to bubble it. Well, what happens with the bubble? First of all, it's way too big, right? Second of all, it's overlapping the page and there's no room, there's no space. So now we're overlapping the sheet index over here. So you want to leave space. I like to leave on an Arch D size layout page. I like to leave a 1/2 inch in terms of sheet scale, 1/2 inch in between elements so that we have enough room to bubble something. So when I bubble this sheet index, it's easy enough for me to size this down a little bit, which you got to zoom in a little bit to get that resize handle. And there we go. Now, in the case that these bubbles are too large, you can always resize these. Something I will do is I'll just change the number of arcs to something like, I don't know, let's call it 100. And that's going to really shrink down that bubble size. All right. So if I'm changing all elements on a page, I might just bubble and note that I've changed the whole page, or bubble the whole thing in its entirety, which is another reason you might size up and leave room on your title block to bubble the whole page. There's no room to bubble the whole page. We're talking about this gap right here, right? So there's no clean way of bubbling the entire page in case you're bubbling the whole thing. Sometimes I'll bubble just the sheet and note in my plan response letter that I'm, changed everything on the sheet and the whole thing needs to review. Something to think about. Let's get into this first page. Now, I just want to flip through this and note what I did. First of all, when these were originally sent to layout, the layout box itself was rotated. You never want to do that. Almost never want to do that. The reason why I say don't do that is because one of the methods I do to kind of keep things organized is I want to copy paste this and I'm going to bring it forward to some blank page. Let's just pick a page like 30 and I'm going to paste hold position. Now, when I relink this to a different view, what's going to happen is it's going to keep that in the same XY grid. All right. So that's really impactful. That's super important. That's helpful. If instead I rotate this view and then try to relink this, what did I do exactly? Somehow this messes some things up. I don't know what had happened. Whoever the original drafts person was, somehow the layout box had been rotated in a way that when I relinked, it no longer worked. So that was the big problem. Let's get back to my page 3. And so what I want to show you is I had to figure out what plan view had the widest elements in terms of sheet space, okay? Meaning that, here we go, these construction lines, as wide as those go out, as wide as these go out, I needed to find the plan view with the graphical elements that were the widest on the sheet, and then start from there in terms of laying this out in layout so that it fit appropriately. Once I had that set, I wanted to make sure that something that I oftentimes do is I'll snap a label to the bottom of the layout page. When we drag it up, then it drags up with it, right? And that's easy. Then we can snap elements to snap elements. Now, I didn't do it in this plan view, but I did place a point so that I can pinpoint this so that it was in the same spot on every page as I kind of figured out how it was going to fit appropriately on the page. Once I had that, I copy paste and relinked across all pages. Now, you'll notice as I flip through, here's my foundation plan, bam, first story framing plan, these layouts, all of them fit in the same place. Not only do they fit in the same place, but I actually picked and located points where these notes can go, and I did a place point. I'm just going to do it exactly like this, place point, so it's very easy for me to come in across other sheets and try to pick that point. Now, I'm such a stickler for this that I even set it up so that my schedules hit on those points if I want, right? So that window notes, all of these things, they hit on those exact same points across every sheet. Even the layout boxes, I'm going to see how I can figure out how to get them in the same exact coordinate XY on every sheet. And this just graphically makes a huge difference to me. It just looks clean, it's organized, you know exactly where your eyes want to go. I even did this for these lower note blocks. And these notes were actually in sheet space on the plan, and I took them out of sheet space, put them in CAD blocks, made them the exact same width so that I can relink this for another view and know that's in the exact same space. And that makes it really easy for me to do things like this, where I just relinked to a foundation vent schedule that I built. This is one of the things that I did with my time. I ended up building a schedule where it has a custom macro to figure out net free area and what's the percentage of allowed net free area that we're covering. And in this case, we're exceeding that requirement. So, and then kind of really picking and choosing where I put those vents in the foundation plan. So layout's a big thing for me. I'm going to take it one step further and just show you how OCD I get on this. As we come through, I want to show you where my elevation pages are. Oops, I just set one more point. I'm going to hit delete to kind of get rid of that point. For some reason, my macro is not working to cycle through. Here we go. Notice something here. Here's the label for my layout box for this plan view. Watch as I flip the page to elevations. That layout label is in the exact same XY spot. I want you to look in the same spot on every page as much as I can, okay? I came in here and cleaned up a bunch of things. I added all the construction lines. I added slip construction lines for the second story. And then I cleaned up, and before this had elevation data on every elevation camera, but it was redundant data. Whereas here, I really only want to show the things that are pertinent to this particular view. And in this case, I want to show that this is that ridgeline height. This is that ridgeline height. We also had these slope markers even on the camera facing roof planes, which doesn't make sense. That's not a drafting standard. So I cleaned those up. I deleted them. I edited this CAD block so that we had a fill style in this triangle. And then we're picking up the highest ridge and then these individual ridges. These other ridges from the other side are going to be picked up in their appropriate cameras right here. So here's where we're showing those other ridges. And then I needed to do a little bit of offsetting of these dimensions so that they were legible. Ultimately, I'm going to block this section out where we're showing kind of that exterior grade. I think it's a really clean look to just block this out because we're showing cross-section views. We're going to see that there's foundation under grade in cross-section views, so I don't really see the need to show these in these views. I'll show you what I mean. This is kind of something that I'm going to do next, which is we'll get in here and we'll just block out that exterior grade. What I mean by that is taking that line, bringing it down, populating it over. Let's go ahead and use the close polyline tool. Oh, actually, before we do that, this is not a polyline. This is actually a spline. Now I can fix that. If we do close polyline and we select a particular segment here, we can actually get into, we can actually hit convert spline to polyline, or advanced splines allows us to straighten a spline segment. So for this spline segment, we can actually straighten that segment. Same thing for the spline segment, we can straighten that segment, in case you didn't know that. So if you still wanted to use splines to block something out, there we go. And then I have some fill styles on the right hand side. I need to add an additional one that's just a white fill, but I do have that just in my library somewhere. It's really nice to save fills to your library. There we go. And so I kind of love the way that this looks. Let me straighten this spline as well, and we can kind of kick this over. And so I think this is a super clean look on the whole. And I like having the construction lines here. I might want to, improve their draw order so that they even go over the train. I'm undecided about that. But let's just look at this on layout and look at, what this kind of represents on layout. That looks pretty clean, right? Keeping in mind that I want to kind of pick this up a little bit so that we're not overlapping that layout label as much as I can. And then I might even take the fill style out of that layout label. So as I move forward, something else that I made sure to do is that in my cross-section views, I actually really want to build my cross-section off of the previous page. So here we've got an elevation. It makes a lot of sense to line up your cross-section on that elevation. Look at that. Look how easily that reads. You immediately know how to orient this view because it's from the previous page. We understand what we're looking at immediately. So I don't need to go reference a plan view, flip to another page, check out my markings, etc., to figure out what I'm looking at here. And then I did some really short back-clipped cross sections at intermediate sections here, and I labeled them according to the section area, right? So if we look in close, G and H is right here, okay? And so then if we're looking at the title here, we see section G and H is right here. We're seeing that we're looking at some clip through this zone. Same thing, section F and G, which we know is right here. This is a clip through that zone. And then section 7 through 9, well, what I'm missing here is another direction where I can show a partial section of section 7 and 9 so we understand where that's coming from. Then in next page, this was largely about just cleaning up this view. I pulled all the blue out of the text. I don't like blue. I think it's just confusing. If I really want to call attention to something, I'm going to make sure that graphically it just draws attention to it. I really don't like to use color. It's kind of a last ditch thing for me to use color, because ultimately a lot of times we're going to be printing in black and white. We need to make sure that in black and white this is a legible drawing. So that's a big part for me. Here we go. Again, notice that I'm leaving a breadth of width in between these details so that if I need to, I can bubble in between the details. And it is important to kind of bubble things separately in this area, right? Because this foundation bit is a different plan check review comment from this whole these standards or this spec writing here. Also, another thing to note is I want to make sure that I'm actually looking at this spec writing and making sure that it's appropriate for this particular view. So we've got a general spec note here, and if we're looking at this, this is really a general note. So this general note should probably be in with this page right here. And this is where it's really fun and easy to just, hey, I'm going to take this note, copy paste, and let's conform it to my standard. So paste, hold, get it in here, do a little point to point, pick up those points, make sure that you've got everything you need to make it fit in this area. Make sure that you've got, the standards of your text set. And let's see, I'm gonna head up doing just like this, bam, just like that. And then, by the way, I just resized the width of this, which essentially unlocked an auto height configuration here, but you can always drag this up past the point of the text and it will auto clip to the bottom of the text. Super easy. This question here, what's that have? 80 corners. What's that have? 80 corners. Let me see what you're talking about there. Oh, yeah. No kidding, right? No kidding. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with this whole jog setup here and this whole jog setup here. That's kind of crazy. That would be a nightmare to build, wouldn't it? It's going to be a lot of form work. A lot of form work. Yeah, I caught up to what you're saying there. Yeah, nice, David. All right, moving forward with this. And I got something going on funny. This is why I do not use rich text, is because it does this. It does some weird thing here. Look at the box. Look at the clipping. All of a sudden, it's resizing for some reason when I zoom out and stuff. I just don't love rich text. I try not to use them. These beam schedules, yeah, I'm conformed to a certain standard and look here. So that looks okay. And then moving forward, I had to custom build this braced wall panel plan. I've started to use something that's a little bit dynamic in that, let's just Alt W fill. There we go. I'm using cabinets here, and if we open this up, we see exactly what this is. It's a 0 box cabinet with a custom door that's see-through. And that allows me to show an X on an exterior for where my braced wall panels are if I want them to be there. Now, in the case of this particular project, I'm not showing them, but I like the way that this looks. It's got a particular a label that can be offset. Something that's dynamic about this is because we're building it out of a base cabinet. For one, it's really, really simple to take the base cabinet tool and select all of these. That's awesome. So we can dynamically change things like things inside of the custom fields, etc., of the object information panel. So that's one aspect of this that's really powerful. Another aspect that's powerful is that we have an open door drawer set up here. So we might be able to do something kind of intriguing or interesting with that. So it's just the dynamics of a cabinet in terms of it building a schedule, in terms of it just allowing for a lot of modification that we could do where we might want to improve on a graphical braced wall panel plan. And let me just open the schedule for this. I'm not actually going to use this, but this is another thing, is that this schedule is built from custom fields or macro-driven things that is showing us our plate connections, etc. Now, I don't need this because this ends up being in the engineer's drawings, which we're going to reference, but it's pretty cool how dynamic that this can get. And just to show you, graphically how this works out is maybe we'll pull a wall framing view, and I haven't adjusted their framing set to show this appropriately, but let's just try it out real quick. Is if I were to go in and modify the wall types, right? So let's just say I'm going to go select a wall, and I'm going to modify this wall type. Let's hit define. I could send my sheathing to a certain display layer, right? So we could send this to, let's just try this out real quick. I hope I'm not going to screw too much up with this. I don't think I am going to, but I could go walls sheathing, right? And now that particular wall is sending this OSB sheathing to that layer. Now, when we come back to this framing setup here and we get into Aldo, and let's just do walls there we go. Let's display that. There we go. Now we're seeing just the sheathing, so that if I then come in here and kick on my brace wall panel stuff, and kick on our door drawer, there we go. Now I'm seeing a graphical representation of my door drawer panels, right? And it looks like I need to actually adjust the stretch plane for this in the width so that these upper portions of the panel get fixed. Let's go ahead and try that real quick. One of the things I can do to just find this in library is, because we don't always have the find in library tool, not with cabinets, I don't believe anyways. Oh, here we go, find in library. We're looking for that brace all panel cabinet door. There we go, we found it in the library. Let me open this object, and this just needed in the advanced sizing panel to have a stretch plane in the height. So in this case, height is 96, we're gonna do half of that, 96 divided by 2. There we go. Now we got a stretch plane right down the center of this. And then, or we could have done uniformly in between the top and bottom rail. That would have been something to do as well. And then the width plane, bam. This will make it very easy for me to, let's just go plan replacement mode, replace this, and it's going to keep those top and bottom rails the same. Or not. Let's fix that. I think I've got a better fix for this. So I'm not exactly sure what those top and bottom rails are, but let's do uniform height between, and we're going to set this to 1.5 inches, and let's say 96 minus 1.5 inches. And then we're going to, so it actually looks like 1 inch. So we're at 1 inch and 95. And we'll just uniform stretch planes between. Bam. And then same thing with the width. We're going to go 48 width, so it's going to be 48 minus 1. And then, oh, actually that's going to be 23.5 and negative 23.5, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Now let's try it. Hopefully that improves it. There we go. Cool. So graphically, this is showing us, I mean, if I did all of those wall types where it's showing that sheathing on a particular layer, this is showing us a view where we're seeing exactly where these braced wall panels are, right? So if I pull a 3D framing layer set elevation view, let's just try it real quick. Maybe we would pull it just through this right here. Let's switch this to that 3D framing layer view. Look at that. You know, that's pretty slick. That is pretty dang slick. I wish that we could send the plywood to a particular layer as well. That'd be huge. You'd have to build a whole second set of roof planes with just sheathing on it to kind of show that. So, which I don't want to do. Let's take this another step forward. Maybe we'll take all those wall types and put that sheathing on all wall types, right? So that would mean that we're going to pick up any kind of wood framing wall type. So how would you even do that effectively? Could you do Alt-S, Alt-S schedule, and then we're doing wall schedule, right? This is what I'm talking about. This plane got rotated at some point, so all elements are rotated. If you know how to deal with this, it'd be great. This is where my information just falls off. I actually don't know how to fix that. I don't know why everything's rotated. So I want to delimit this so that we can get to like categories. And maybe it's that just we're, oh no, we gotta build things one by one, I think. That's true. Yeah, I gotta build them one by one. That's too bad. But we can just look at the exterior walls versus interior walls. That would be easy enough. So it's gonna be all these walls. I like this. We're gonna build out a whole section. What program is this? Which program is this? This program is Chief Architect. Chief Architect Premier X16. It's been around for 30 years. It was around before Revit, but it came after AutoCAD. And if you want just a quick little sample, I'll show you something real quick. Check this out. I'm going to start with a brand new template just so you can check this out. I'm going to add a bedroom to this, and I'm going to add maybe a garage off the back end. And or up the front end, etc. Bam, and let's just build this and check this out. Watch how fast this is, my friend. We got a house already. We're gonna do some gable end stuff. Right, actually maybe this one's not gable end, or maybe it is. Just to show you how dynamic this software is and how quickly we can do things. I'm already starting to get to a dimension plan where we're popping in windows and popping in doors and garage doors, etc. Concentrically resizing things. Got a bunch of parameters. It's a very, very cool program. I'm 75% of the way to a construction document as soon as I start this program, so it's pretty powerful. Okay, let's get back to business. Oh, you said it's the same one you use. Very cool. Well, thanks for coming in here. All right, so do a little bit of work here. I'm going to be sending our siding 6. It'd be great if we could do edit like things. Let's see. Let me see if I got wall types. Here we go. Wall type definitions. So I can get in here and edit all these things. Let's go. Okay, I should be able to just scroll wheel in here. I don't think we used. I wish that in wall type definitions it showed whether or not something was used or not. Would be a great little add. And if we're double clicking on this, I want this to automatically go to the search. Would be awesome as well, right? Because if I just start typing, I actually have to type in walls first. That's too bad. Steel brick, steel and steel, stone, stone, stone. Let's go and try stone. I don't have anything with a blue wall type layer, so that's not needed. I'll look for anything with a gray layer. There's a gray. I wonder if you could, wish you could just do like a match properties thing. Select all these rooms at once and do this. That would be nicer. Or if there's an object, maybe we can do an object properties? No, there's no object properties that we can apply this way. So this is just a lot of work. They need to give us better tools for this kind of thing. We want to set up a new standard like this. There, I think I've got all of them. Press OK, cool. Let's get rid of. There is still this wall that's got blue on it. I don't know where that is, but let me just open that project real quick. So now when we go back to this cross-section elevation view, we should see all plywood. There we are. Look at that. That's so cool. That's so cool. And so probably more appropriate for this view is that we're going to split on our, so if I hide this sheathing, let's turn off the sheathing, and we're going to split on, we're going to split halfway through this. Right, so this is actually going to be what's happening here. Oh, and that's a cantilever. So this is actually going to be a little bit different. But yeah, we can come in here and actually build out our sheathing the way we want it. Pretty cool. I would back clip so we're not seeing the framing on the other side. So this camera that I just pulled, and wherever that camera is, it's just a working plan so we can see that camera. This guy right here, probably going to back clip it like this, right? And we would probably even jog it. So cut it, bring it in, cut it, bring it in. I should say break it and bring it in, right? And then that back clip ends up just being just past those exterior walls. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot, right? Oh, the music needs to go down. I can do that. Thank you for telling me. Let's see. Where is that? Some brain. Oh, background music. There we go. Much better. How's that? Tell me how that is. I'm going to turn off N9, F10, F11, turn off bumps so that I can pick up snap. There we go. I don't know why that reverted back. That's funny. Yeah, I might send this view somewhere. I might put this view on the brace wall panel. Of course, it can't do a shape like this. That would be kind of a thing, right? Can't do a shape like this. Or I guess you could, if you did kind of this 30-inch, because it's a cabinet, you might be able to just front sides back, select this face, split horizontally, and then this section is 30-inch, right? And then split this vertically, and whatever that drop is right here, and this is just an opening that you specify 0 shelves on. Need to know what that drop is though. But then essentially we could, come up here and do this whole thing where we know that this is 33 inches. So this panel needs plus 33, right? Slick, baby, slick. Very cool. Something that I didn't do is these are always going to go to the edge here. Yeah, I like this. This is a cool little system. All right, let's go through some other stuff that I've done in this plan. So that was the build out here. Now I wanted to do something dynamic with the P5s, but I ended up leaving them because at some point I just have to make money. And I'm losing my butt on this project. I mentioned that earlier in the feed. So as I go through, I did pick up and add a little 3D here. I think that this is helpful sometimes just to kind of understand, especially when we've got a roof overlapping another roof. And then I love to put fill styles on roof because it points out things like this, semi-transparent fill styles or semi-opaque fill styles. Because what we pick up is that it's very obvious that there was a second roof plane there, which was a mistake, you know? So there we go, that part's fixed. That's why I love having those kind of semi-transparent fill styles. And then moving forward, just kind of, again, standardized all this text. I took the time to turn all this text as well. I think that I need to shut off these invisible walls. I don't think those actually, I don't think I want to see those. I don't think I need to see those in this particular view. So we'll go ahead and shut this down. I also got rid of first floor versus second floor saved plan views, because in any saved plan view, we always have the option to use any floor, right? And then we're not bound to a particular floor when we relink that view. So still following that standard of where everything's located on the sheet, I changed the arrow styles just to conform them across all plan views because they were different. And then I imported my own dimension defaults and made some modifications to them so that all the half checks are now dots and everything's conformed in terms of its look as well. I will say that a lot of these arrows are just kind of pointing to arbitrary locations. We don't actually see hardware. So I haven't been able to figure out what exactly that's about. I also changed to more of an engineer's standard of displaying framing members, which is a single line member that has a heavier line weight and has this long dash, short dash with 2 blanks in between. So that to me is a very readable thing. And then a lot of times I'll even blank this out and shows a different indication of this. But something that's very readable to me is that this, and I'm a seasoned builder, this shows me very easily there's 3 framing members here. So that just makes a lot of sense to me. This is a lot easier to read than just a whole stack of lines there that don't have any fill style. I would say the alternative is go ahead and show the double line style, which is the full thickness of the framing member, but make sure to show a fill style so that we understand what's even happening, because I don't find it to be very easy to read. Coming forward, I haven't really touched this particular view. We are showing framing members here. All I did was organize it on the sheet. First story framing ceiling plan view. I almost feel like this is redundant information. It's just showing that we've got flat ceilings in these zones, and apparently there's just not flat ceilings, or it's a second floor setup somewhere else. So what I would do instead of this, let me just show you with a new plan, is that I have something in my library browser that automatically picks up from a macro-driven floor framing member thing that I have in my plan template. And so what that is if I just type in joist and maybe type in rab, I'm going to pick up a couple of things. This is one of them. It's a CAD block. And when I explode the CAD block, and let's go ahead and display them on this page, is, it's saying unlinked right now because we haven't opened where that is going to be driven from. So that's part of this, where I'm using the wrong one. Probably using the wrong one. There we go. Oh, no, they both say unlinked, haha. But this is something I would do instead, is that, maybe this shows rafters and this shows joists, and it's on the same view, right? So you can do stuff like that, kind of dynamically, and then change these parameters globally on the fly. That'd be one way of doing this, where we don't have to have a whole separate view to show that these are ceiling joist members. So something to think about. Or it could just be handled with a note or a little detail note or something like that, where we're calling out what these are. So I don't know that we need to burn a whole sheet on this. I'm undecided. And then I brought this forward from my Pro Plan template, which is just a window order overview where the window label is oversized. The only problem with this, using it in this kind of setup, is that you can see here some of these window labels are overlapping each other, and so they're not legible. So that's not very helpful, right? So something I might do, since I've got a little bit of sheet space left, and since I'm not following the standard in this particular view, is we could kind of shift select this, come in here, size this up so that we've got enough room to kind of pick this up and place it, and then hit our pan, resize, rescale thing, and scale this up to the point where this is all going to be legible, right? And so then the scale of this doesn't really matter. I mean, it doesn't matter, period. In fact, all it needs to do is be legible, right? So same kind of thing is, could just use that resize tool and then pan and scale this up until those little ones that are overlapping are legible. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be possible in this particular view. But I would think that you could probably order from this pretty easily. It's going to be this one. And maybe I would take the time to go look at our main sheet here where we're calling out windows and seeing what is it that or we're getting a double call out there. Oh, it's this guy right here. And you know what? It's not even legible on this sheet. So let's move it around a little bit. Right? We want to kind of not really fight that center line. Get these kind of side by side. Make it so that everything's still legible. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. In fact, might even be able to bring it on the interior side. Who knows? And there we go. And again, these didn't need to be scaled to each other. So that's just really clear and easy to read. I want to get into the elevations real quick, something I like to work with here, especially the cross section. When I place things like this, the first thing I'm going to do is do a little point to point. If we send these as plot lines, we get snappable points. So we're going to pick up this point, snap it to this other point, right? Once we have that, then it's really easy to then snap our what you would do is you would place your lower cut of the layout box itself, and then go ahead and snap the label to the part of that lower box. And then once you have that, we know that the footings are aligned. So then all you have to do is drag this down, snap it to the one next to it, and now we know all this is aligned, right? Super simple. Use that new undo, or actually I'm just going to do a couple undos. Why not? Oh, the very, very slow undos gives me an opportunity to take a little sip. There we go. Okay, I want to get into the sheets now that, oh, well, something to note is that I noticed that the sheet was actually just matching the page number. And so we don't want to do that. We actually want the sheet, and we do this from a page 0 in case you didn't know. We actually want the sheet to match the page label layout. Okay. Layout label. Layout label? It's a polyline to keep selecting, maybe that's a text, layout label. And then that way, when we get into these sheets like at 24, etc., what? Here we go. This is just picking up the page information's layout label, which we get to just do E-#, and it's going to automatically enumerate for us. So that ends up working really well. And then I want to show that I have a slip page here. This is a blank page where something is being attached from somewhere else. So I needed to put something on the page, which is that there's just a line down here. And I just snapped a line in there real tight. And that makes it so that this reports to our page index on page 1. So this is that slip page, grading infiltration, and it needed to reserve A26 for some reason. So I manually typed in A26 under the layout label of that page information sheet. And then notice that we've got our structural details in those like page 24, etc. And so I built a system to be able to link to these structural details and report what is there. So check this out. All I have here is a blank line style CAD block. That's a CAD detail sent from plan, and the CAD detail's name is the same name as the actual structural details. So S1, if I go and look in CAD details in my project, you're going to notice I've got a bunch of blank CAD details. All they have is a line in them. You have to have some kind of information. I've got a blank line in a CAD detail. Then it can be sent to layout. I send that to layout. I didn't need to kind of place it in quadrants like this, but I needed to have it on this page. And the purpose of this, let me get back to a page that might have some info that would make sense for this, is, let's see if I can find a detail page that shows how I'm using this. Right. Here we go. We'll just use this page as an example. What I did then was I did a call out. This call out is linked. It's linked to detail S26. S26 is sent to layout so that this picks up what that layout page label is, SD 2.0. So now it's dynamically linked and calling out so that if I double click this, it will send me to that detail, right? Which is just a blank detail in this case. But it is picking up that page, right? So it's kind of a dynamic way of limiting our liability so that if we want to, we can link this to a different page. And if for some reason those SD pages change their layout page number, or we flip some things around and move that stuff around, then we're just copying all the contents from that sheet and then, pushing it forward. So this is a really dynamic way of limiting the liability and properly linking a call out. And I think I'll do a separate video on that specifically to show that system. I'm actually going to just provide this in my pro plan from now on, is a separate plan that just has a bunch of S20, S1 through 30 call outs so that if you want to use the system, it's already built for you. Simple. See, I moved that general note, so I want to be able to take this, and I'm just going to pop this here and slide this over. By the way, when you're sliding elements on a layout, try this out. Try right-clicking. That's going to bind us orthogonally, right? So now I'm moving left to right very easily. The next thing I want you to try is hold S. Hold S, right-click. Notice that I'm not picking up any snaps. How cool is that? And then once I've dragged this in the direction that I want, and it's very clearly going in the direction that I want, I can let go of those things and hit tab or enter and punch in my stuff. It's a little bit of finger Olympics, but it ends up working really well. I'm going to add some isometric 3D views in the plan with dimensions. While CAD designs are nice, with something this complicated, actual views of what the finished rooms look like can help subs. So there's a whole section of this plan that are a bunch of elevations and renderings, and I have not gotten in to start reorganizing those. I really want to clean them up, and that's going to be a big part of this video here in a minute, because that's kind of my next phase. And I don't love putting a bunch of renderings in plans. I think it introduces more reliability, but because these are not my plans, you can see here that there are in fact some renderings happening here. It's not my method, because to me it invites scrutiny and the potential of error, and someone's going to build something based on a rendering and it's going to really screw some things up. So what I sometimes do is do some of these like overview things where I find that this is actually very helpful. This is something I have a lot of control over. Same kind of thing. Maybe I might show roof framing plan to the extent that it's not really all that legible on the screen, but you get an idea of how the framing's coming together. Maybe I would do something like that. That might be helpful. Yeah, to answer that question. So let's get to the first page that I truly need to work on because it's not working properly. And then, I mean, we do have, let's see. Yeah, we've got a cabinet schedule here. Again, I want my data up where that data lived in other places. So it'd be great if I could get this view down here, right? And then this cooktop wall down here. And then this cab schedule. I also want to probably conform this cab schedule in a way that, well, one, I kind of want to snap my layout box to this in a way that I can really pick this up, right? And then two, how much information is in this? We've got comments, description. I don't know that I need description. I might like seeing a preview instead. And then room name, kitchen dining, and it's got a schedule number with depth height. So what I like to do in this case is I'll snap to snap, right? And actually this is pretty close to a correct width for me. So that's not bad, but you might double click in here. You can see we've got some different cabinet defaults. We could actually tile these side by side and then come back to that layout. And while we're looking at this, while it's snapped appropriately, we can kind of pick this up and slide it over. And maybe it goes 8 inches as a first bump, and that's just inside those lines. So maybe we'll come back 4 inches. And there you go. That's pretty much it. So that fits within my standard. Okay. And then the next thing is on both of these schedules is I've chosen to do a different title text style. So this is going to be 8 inches is the title text style. It's going to be all caps. It's going to be bold. And that fits the standard of all the other notes. And then a lot of the notes on this page aren't fitting that standard, so I have to fix that as well. I also like the header text style to at least be bold. So just bold this up, header text style, bam. Tab schedule first. And then for this particular one, we're going to suppress the label. So now I can shut this down. There we go. And then just fix these things, which is underline. And I'm actually did a scale thing here. I wanted this to be a certain print size. So I have to do 8 divided by 48 to get that amount and copy this. So that's the standard for how I'm showing things. And then text is right underneath. So same thing here. And copy this. Bing. Undo the underline. That actually took, oh, it did take, okay. Standardize my text. I like all standardized text. I think this just looks so much cleaner. And we know that we want a 1/2 inch between all these. So If we can't get ½ inch between, we need to figure something else out. Yeah, it's going to be tough to get this last note in here. What are these notes? Tile notes, coating notes, countertop notes. We could drop more notes into this section, would be another thing to do. And then first floor casework plan. I'm assuming that that's from this. So we can always double click this and just make a new plan view. Casework. And relink this. And it should pick up in the label. If I change this to use a call out, let's edit that call out. I don't need, there we go. There we go, there's my standard. And then I want it to be snapped to this bottom. Then it's easier to move that all at once. And we know that we kind of want our labels all in the same spot, always. Also don't need to see this other half of the building. And because this is a cut section, I might open this up, and I've built a particular layer style on my layout where layout box borders is on, should actually show the line work around it, so that that's doing the cut for me. Yeah, and let's just pick this up to this. And let's, oh, actually this is the spot. So snap to there, bam. It's in the same spot, always. Isn't that cool? Let's get rid of this. And then let's actually get in here and get into Aldo. And I just am gonna select all right off the bat and change everything to black. Easy peasy. Because this plan was turned, everything's turned. That's just, I actually don't know why this is. I don't understand it. I don't like it. All right, so now we're on to the new drafting session. So what are we going to call this? Plan cleanup. There we go. Look, we got a new banner. Cool. I don't typically dimension cabinets in a top view like this. I'm usually going to do it in an elevation view. I don't find this particularly helpful, actually. I don't need redundant information. Again, introduces potential for error, introduces potential for liability. Don't find this helpful at all. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all these dimensions, right? And then really on this layout page, I don't really want to show just one view. I'd rather put a more robust cabinet schedule on this view and then do another page where I'm packing in 4 views. I want 4 views on this sheet. And if I were to, I said this earlier, but if I were to have done this from the start, probably would have upped the sheet size for this particular project because it's a decent sized kitchen. So these views are going to take up quite a bit. Let's just let's duplicate the page, and now this is a page duplicate. Let's fix a couple things. I don't know why on earth this is blue, because that's not following what I have set up. So that's very strange. And I have no blue in layout, so I'm not sure where this is getting blue from. Main text style is blue. Okay, so CAD textile. So somehow one of these textiles has blue in it. We're gonna go ahead and fix that right now. By layer. Cool. There you go. Should be black now. Yep. And then I already imported one of my dimension defaults. Importing dimension defaults are particularly challenging. I could import saved plan views, and that would be challenging as well. Let me try this. I'm going to test this. So we're going to do a template plan, new plan from template, and pick the default residential template. And I want to see about importing. I want my NKBA dimension defaults because I don't think I imported those already. NKBA cab elevation defaults, but these are not mine, I don't think. And mine are the best. So if we go to import, default sets, default settings, and we pick up my template, what do we get? Yeah, we don't get the option for dimensions, which is just wild, right? Isn't that wild? So we can import saved plan views, default sets, yeah, we're left with saved plan views, I think. Okay, and so I really only want my kitchen plan view and replace whatever's there. And so now I should have my NKBA. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. So it's always a good idea to test these things before you go messing up your plan, right? So, and also I want to just save right now. In fact, before I make some kind of import like this, I have a hotkey to just shut down all windows. Control-Shift-W. By the way, Control-W is shut your current window. That works for almost everything. Don't try it right now because you'll close this window. Control-W is a standard in Windows. And so I set my chief architect to shut down all windows as Control-Shift-W. So we just did that. While we're shut down, I'm going to do a couple things. One is we're going to fix something that always bugs me. We're going to shut Chief all the way down. I'm going to bring up Photoshop, and let's open up Photoshop, and we're going to open a particular file that Chief Architect does not want you to open, so don't do this. And we're going to go Program Files, as Chief Architect, 16, Resources, Graphics, and I really want to change the layout page icon. The layout page icon, because I need to see it. I cannot see it the way it is right now. It doesn't stand out well enough for me. So close that, fix it. Could not save because it's locked. Yeah. I'd have to change the permissions of that particular location, which I could do, or I could just save it somewhere else. Yeah, let's change the permissions so it's easier to do. See if I can do that on the fly. Sometimes I forget how to do this. I wish I was so proficient in Windows that I did this just through registry edits or something like that, because that would be just, I'm super cool if I could do that, but I don't know how to do that. So I'm just going to get to the resources file, properties, and give full control to everybody. Full control. It's just, why not just select everybody and do something dangerous that someone probably would tell me not to do? Yeah. Now, do I get to just close this? No, I don't. Lame. All right, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. We're going to dump it into downloads, save it. Also want to open up another one of these, maybe the camera icon. Yeah, I think the camera icon could change a little bit too. Red? Should we do red or maybe orange? I kind of like orange. Okay. What do I need now? I need Chief File Explorer, Control N for a new window, tile these side by side. Let's go find that. Yeah, let's go find downloads. And we're going to just pick up these two and drop them into resources graphics and replace existing. Yep, continue administrative rights. Yep. Cool. And then Control Shift W, Control W, Control W. Bam. Okay. Let's fire up Chief again. Actually, before I even do, I'm going to show the whole point of what I had just done, which is I want to make a copy of this before I'm importing some kind of default. So I'm going to Control V and just rename this. And it's going to be today's date. So 24/11/14 and this off. And now I can open straight from here my layout file, which I apparently I backed up at some point. Ah, I did it wrong. What did I do? I did it wrong. Look, I replaced the wrong one. This is the one I need. Whatever that one is. Dang it. Let's just hit S, so it's in recent files list. Let's try this again. Let's try this one more time. Wait, I did do it right. How's Chief getting around me here? Maybe it wasn't a PNG? No, it's a PNG. Let's try it again. What did I do wrong? That used to work. Program files, Chief Architect, X16, resources, graphics, layout page. Oh, look at this. Oh, it made a copy. How funny. All right, we got Chief shut down. And renamed appropriately. Camera worked. How funny was that? That was strange. All right, let's try this again. Open recent. In this case, date's correct. In this case, there we go. That's that icon I wanted. A little pink icon at the top of the screen. Isn't that nice? Makes it stand out when you got a bunch of views open. Cool. All right. So now let's do our dimension default import, which is just a save plan view import. Import save plan view, template file, and we only want kitchen. And when we switch to kitchen, what does it look like? Curious. Funny. Okay. Casework plan. So we're going to switch to my NKPA. Bam. And then let's pick up this view. Another thing that I want to note is I built a working plan. And the working plan, I built a floor plan. Floor plan has a compass rose. So we want to show this. Callouts construction. Callouts construction. I almost just want to say that this is something else. Let's switch to that kitchen plan. Sorry, that casework plan. If we turn on callouts construction, what else shows up? Some section cuts show up. I don't know why the line weight's so crazy. The line weight's shown as line weight of 5, so I don't know what that's about. Maybe because it's, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's overriding it somehow. Oh yeah, it's overridden. Don't need that. There we go. There we go. So there's our rows, and this is something that I would show as. Oh, this is one that's not included in the rows. No, this should just be a non-print layer. That's how I look at this. Non-print. I'm not going to show that. So this is how I would typically show things, and I would not show these schedule numbers. Instead, I would rather use my own macros for labels here. So we can use the full height cabinet tool, grab all these, open them up, under label, specify, and I have a new system that makes this a lot easier for me, which is just cabinet label, which then looks at what type of cabinet it is and pulls the correct macro based on that. And then if we select this, find the schedule, open it up and say use label instead, we should be able to come back to this and see our updated stuff, which looks really good. This looks really good. This looks better to me anyways. And then also with labels, I like to have the black outline. So let's do that as well. Display border, that's what I like. Right, and now we'll get to those different elevation views and start cleaning them up. Pull up the project browser, look up our cross sections, and I want to name these things appropriately. Right now, they're not named anything. They're just, you know, cooktop wall is named, so that's good, but a lot of these other views were not actually named. I hate these offsets that they're not standardized. That drives me nuts. So we're gonna switch to my NKBA and we'll do an auto elevation, dimension, kitchen, bath. They're on their own layer. Isn't that cool? And my NKBA really will pick up some cool stuff the way it should be picking it up. And it will point out some mistakes. So there might be some instances where there's a little mistake here. So there's a 1-inch gap here. I'm assuming that that's going to be a filler. Let's just find this. What's going on here? Let's turn line weights off so we can see. Very curious what that 1-inch gap is. Showing. Not entirely sure. There's 24. Huh. Oh, it's just showing the face of cabinet. That's what it's picking up. Okay. And then I have something in my kitchen tools that will just be a CAD block, which I don't know why I'm not seeing it right now. There it is. So we're gonna pop this into place. This is an easy point to point, typically, just like that. Except for that, we've got a tall toe kick on this project. And then explode the block, stretch it to whatever you need it to stretch it to. There we go. That shows appropriately. Very cool. Yeah, I don't want to show this face here, so we're going to pick that up. So this one, we typically pick up a little center line here. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. There's just a little bit of cleanup in this crown, which, what are we picking up? We're picking up a bunch of little tiny things in here. I'm not sure what. Have to get in real tight to figure out what this is. So picking up some kind of cross-section lines. Oh, something over here. Weird. Yeah, 1.5" crown. Bam. 1 inch rail, 1.25". Cool. And then I don't really need the redundancy on this, so we'll just keep that on the one side. And that's looking pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. Now, I showed a video on this recently where we're showing, let's see, layout, there we go. Oops, placed that CAD block by accident. Where sometimes our cabinet's material is too dark. And so, I mean, this isn't as readable as it could be. So if we're not deriving the color of a material from our pattern panel, material color here, let's see, texture is not blend with material, so it has a base texture. So we could come in here to the material color and make it a lot lighter, which is going to make it a lot more readable in a color plan. Same thing, texture. This one actually is blend with texture. So in the case that it's blend with texture, if you do have Power Toys installed on Windows, if you're on Windows, you could do a Window Shift C and pick up a color code like BA78D. And here's our HSL if we wanted to, so that I could come in here, select this whole section here, which is got a zip in it as well. And I'm going to open up Explorer. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to cut everything past the .zip, and I'm looking for solid red oak quarter sawn DC18. So I'm going to delete this, hit enter. This brings me into a zip archive where I can go down and type in that solid oak, whatever it is. It's down here, the DC18 solid oak. Now I forget what the heck it was. Solid oak. What was it? What was it? It was, oh, solid red oak. Solid red oak quarter sawn. Solid red oak quarter sawn. Where? Right there. This guy. I'm going to drop this into my downloads and then pick that up, hopefully. This guy. And we'll open him up in Photoshop. Let that catch up, if it will. Thought it would. Oh, oops, painted it white. And so we need to get this to a different color. So we can do I'm down at the bottom of my screen, which you can't see, is create new filler adjustment. And we're just going to do a solid color. And this color is going to be whatever this is over here, right? So RGB values, color code, etc. We can just copy from here, paste it here, bam, and then change the blend mode to color, bam. And now we have that material is adjusted and we're not blending with the pattern color. So when I go export this, PNG, export, and I want to go find my actual Dropbox project directory, find the actual location of this project. There we go. And I want to go back here, find that exact same location. Start typing in solid. I could have copy paste. That would have been much easier. Red oak quarter sawn BC 18. And we've got a PNG file. Cool. Now we don't need to blend with texture. It got a little bit darker, but not too bad. And so now I can pick this up and make it a lot lighter in this view, and it's going to make those cabinets easier to read. Cool. Kind of the same thing with even these wall textures is we could replace the material color with an actual blank color of this, right? So we could actually take this 233, 235, 231, and let's just do a new file where we're just, I mean, we could literally do a 1024 if we wanted to, 1024, 1024, where we're picking up the color. Let's just do a solid color. It's easy to do it this way. Now I'm just saving this color as the wall color. And we could limit its size if we wanted to, but there we go, it's wall color. So same thing. Now we could change that wall color according to this. So in the texture panel, we find that same wall color. Now we have a texture in there so that we can change the material color to a true white. And that again will be a little bit more readable, right? Pretty cool, huh? I don't know why the text on this is oversized. And actually, I'm not sure why the text in my NKVA dimensions are oversized as well. They don't need to be that large. So NKVA, number height, this is being sent at a 1/2" view. So our text style, use layer for text style, that's why. Okay. Active layer display options. Let's go 1/2" text style, and let's make sure that that's still an Arial half the size. Cool. And we might pump this up like 5 or something. Sweet. What's going on here? Fixture labels. You know, I want to change all the colors to black. This doesn't need to be default. This could be 1/2" text. Except for that, I didn't do that on labels. Should just do everything here. Text style, 1/2" text style. There we go. David, are you still in here? Are you ready to change songs? Some of these other songs. This one's called Feeding the Ducks, if you can hear it. E9 cooktop wall. Let's spin this out so we can see those dimensions. There you go. That looks about right. I almost want to just drag this down. That would be easier, like this. Wish they gave us an option to take a selected edge and make it a match line, so it's got a little break, squiggly. It'd be nice. It's not picking up overall. Yeah, these are tall, so that becomes a problem. And we're so close to this label point. I'd love to get that right on the money. Also, this text style is not following my text styles. What's going on here? Oops, that somehow changed. Oh, you can't edit undo text styles? That's dumb. There we go. Oh, there we go. Label layer. When that's happening, oftentimes you have to go into the defaults in the layout box and make sure it's using system layer. Sometimes that's useful to do that label layer deal, but other times not so much. All right, I kept saying I want to build out a whole sheet with all these views, so that should be the next build out. We've got a copy here, yeah. That's funny, I had a bunch of copies of this cabinetry notes. Oh no, it didn't, it just wasn't deleting, weird. Now I want to link to elevation 10. So here's the trick, is if this is plot lines, it is, let's make sure it's color filled. Should be able to point to point, bam, point to point, just like that. And then slide this over. Again, right click, hold S, slide it over. Floors are aligned. Now all we need to do is align the bottom of the layout box. Bam, now that's aligned. I might tighten up these dimension strings so that we can squeeze this in a little bit tighter. And I also want to fix that door so that it's more legible as well. So same thing, that color is coming from somewhere else. We got 47, or what do we have? 47, 48, 40. So we can just do this on the fly. Super easy. Right? Door color. Punch that into the texture. And drop this way down. Let's make it dark. Grayish. So much easier to read. So much easier to read. Okay. So I can manually drag these because I did some editing over here, or we could just update them. And what I'm talking about here is first line up. So the way this is working here, we got this offset is 18 inches. First line offset 18 inches. So we can make this, let's make it 12 instead. And line separation is 8. And it's showing us a preview over here. And so that tightened that up quite a bit. Yeah. And so it's not going to do anything with the existing dimensions. So we have to do auto again. And then I'll have to pick up and delete some things. Cabinet elevation set. I actually don't want to show my construction lines here. And then let's just fix this real quick. And there we go. So that tightened up. Yeah, the problem with music is if you play music you actually want to hear, it's going to get flagged, and then you don't get to monetize a bunch of other stuff. So you have to play stuff that's royalty free, etc. That's the pain. I love to listen to actually what I want to listen to. How to fly it. All right. You know, I was feeling pretty good yesterday. I got to see, I was doing a little bit of troubleshooting for someone, and when I opened up their version of the Pro plan and looked around, I was like, man, this looks pretty good. They're using it correctly. Wonder if I can find that plan on the fly real quick. This might have been it because it's showing an old version date. Maybe not. Maybe it's not it. Oh no, this is it. Yeah, they were using an old version. First of all, they're using my tree and plant package, and that looks really nice. I'm impressed, right? That actually looks pretty dang sharp. Now this is the working plan. Let's just look at floor plan. Let's turn off the sheet and all that. I mean, it's looking pretty good. You know, they got to dimension the interior side stuff, but yeah, they got the plate height markers, all that stuff. It's pretty clean looking. And then pull a 3D view, and I don't have all the same textures that they have, so I'm gonna have some missing textures because this wasn't a backup. And this is their design. And I didn't ask if I could share this, so I'm not gonna say their name. But I was really, yeah, I got some missing texture files, so we're missing something. But look at this. This is looking nice. You know, this is almost presentation worthy, right? 35-degree field of view. Let's just throw in some stucco here just to see what it looks like. Because it looks like maybe that's what they're using. Let's go plan mode. Bam. Or maybe they're using a brick. Oh, I bet they were using a brick on that part. So let's go plan mode. Let's put some wild stucco on here. Yeah, that's a little too wild. But yeah, this looks nice. 3 million surfaces. Look at that though. Like, great job, you know? How fun. Love this. Yeah. This is cool. I love seeing other people's work, and I love that maybe something I did helped out. It looks like they're using my shelf system. Oh, no, they're manually placing shelf items. Well, I could teach them how to not manually place shelf items because that would save a bunch of time. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, love seeing this. All right. Oh, look at this. Look at that icon. Boy, that really pops off the screen. I like that. Demonstrate my confusion in hair pulling. Walls, new, exterior, normal. What's the rule on walls and layers? I mean, it's if you have things installed the way I like to have them installed, then it's pretty easy. Just here's a new plan. We've got toolbars that are new walls, old walls, new exterior wall, just puts it on a new exterior wall layer, and the wall type, the fill for that wall type is following the layer color. New interior wall. There you go. I mean, that's as easy as it is. So if you go look at what this wall is, it's just going to a layer that's walls interior new, which we can independently change the fill style color of it. And under wall types, when we go look at this, the fill style of all layers are derived from the layer that they are on. And that way we can always kind of dynamically change the color based on the layer. So active layer display options, walls interior new, we can make it pink if we wanted to, and it's going to update. And so that's new versus existing. It's a wall type that is on an isolated layer that are separate from the default interior wall layer and the default exterior wall layer. All right, let's get back to my standards. What is this? What is this? Oh, that's a dishwasher. It doesn't look like a dishwasher. That's funny. My label should pick up that this is a dishwasher. That's interesting. Let's see what's going on with that. Base 24. Yeah. Appliance meal dishwasher. It has the word dishwasher in it, so my label should have picked that up. Ah, this is so aggravating. I don't know why everything's turned. Does anyone know why this is everything I place is turned like this? It's really obnoxious. It's got to be some combination of settings that's doing that. All right, so we're searching for dishwasher. Front sides item dishwasher. So why is my cabinet label not picking this up? E24. Tab base level. Tab base level takes dishwasher. So what's going on with my cabinet label? Oh, I have two different cabinet labels. Oh, I'm using the wrong one. All right, let's delete this one. That one's not working. Oh, that's an old one. Weird. Another old one. All right, so we need cabinet label on all these. Okay. Let's just highlight the whole plan. Why not? Cabinet openings, cabinet label. That should be it. That fix it? Yes, it did. Cool. Also fixed automatic end panels. Designations. Yeah, this looks even more appropriate. Very cool. Nice. Boy, to me, this is worth its weight in gold if you're a kitchen designer. I mean, to me, this is worth every penny of my templates, is this kind of stuff. Automatic end panel, 95 inches. Automatic 4-drawer base, 33. It's picking up that these are substandard wall width cabinets, so they're not modular. So it's adding the 13. You know, it's been full height, base 24, full height, 12-inch depth. 4-drawer base, 24. Like, this is just, to me, that's just everything. Same thing. This is picking up that it's in a bathroom, so it's face vanity, vanity base, 3021. It's perfect call outs. I didn't need to go in and manually do this stuff. It's picking up that this is an oven. Understanding that. It even understood that this is a fridge. Right? I mean, that's just worth it to me. This is a standalone line. We could do something cool with this, which is just, this could have been inserted. What is this? Let's just add it to the library. Yeah, it's a wine storage unit. So this cabinet, let's just have an opening. Yeah, it's just an opening. So instead of it being an opening, we could say that it's an appliance and specify it and put that wine unit in that we just saved. Cabinet's not large enough. Or I could just spray it with my wine cabinet tool. That'd be easier. Bam. Yeah, and then get rid of this appliance. And that, there you go. All right. Tony, I don't know what you said. Let's just blink. Could it be in the text specification option rotate? Every element's coming in sideways. So it has something to do with someone rotating a plan and then maybe reverting it. I don't know. I really don't know. I've never rotated a plan before. I've done it just to try it, but I've never done it as something where I've then worked on it. So yeah, I don't know. I have to tell you, same here. I don't use everything that it has in it. And like when I go to fix things or I want to go improve things, sometimes getting to the headspace that I was at is so challenging. We were just talking about this at length the other day, which is that I have to be on the 15th hour to get into this flow state where I'm writing this really complex system that is user configurable and separates macros out in a way that can be edited through some kind of AI chatbot and then integrates into Chief, and then it's tested and everything's working right. I just came back to do some new scripting, and I fixed a few things that I didn't know were even broken. I fixed the full cabinet. Full cabinet's a lot more dynamic now, so it can properly pick up things like it could distinguish between a combination microwave oven slash convection oven versus an oven now, and it didn't used to be able to do that. So now I can do that. And then it can pick up that See, I still haven't fixed the wine designation yet, so it's not properly understanding that this is no longer a cabinet. It's just meant to be a wine fridge. And I think it's doing some more advanced stuff with picking up what a fridge is. But the other thing is that it was really difficult to update things and bring things forward from an old template plan to new template plan, or an old plan period to the new Pro plan version, in terms of conforming all the cabinet labels. So I switched it so that there's an intermediate macro that says it looks at the type of cabinet, and then based on the type of cabinet, then it applies the correct macro for the type of cabinet, so that I could split up the different cabinet macros. I mean, my macro system's crazy to change, but it's a really well built system for kind of future proofing, which is that we're getting a bunch of information. We're getting a bunch of information from the end user, right? So we get project label options where we get to add options just through a text box. You know, we come into cabinet label options and you can change how the full oven cabinet is displayed, right? You just get to double click in here and change this to example. And now that integrates into the macros match system, so that when we spray this as a double oven again, look at that, it changed it. You know, now it's using our standard of labeling convention for an oven cabinet unit. And the way that's working is we're picking up information from those text boxes. We're bringing it into what's called a hash, which is generating what's called name value pair. It's a key lookup. We're going to look up a key that we're calling FOV for full height oven. That key's value just got changed, and it got changed to example. Now we've got some kind of macro that looks at whether or not the plan is existing or new. Then it looks at what type it is, and then it brings it into, say, here's the cabinet base label. And in the cabinet base label, it's got a bunch of these conditions that are being checked for, that we're looking for a match. This same match system is what drives my cabinet pricing system, which can look up through an inventory of cabinets, basically a name value pair thing again. So all of these things are contained so that you can write new parameters for just those contained things. And then finally, there's just a cabinet labels set up here that is just looking for, hey, is this a full height cabinet, base cabinet, or is it a partition? Is the schedule? No, what's it looking for? Only modified label if schedule number has a value. Oh, and I just wrote in some new function to it. And this is for the next version of it, which is that maybe in some views, we don't want the schedule number in the label. And so now I can do that. The previous version didn't do that. So maybe I only want the schedule number, and I don't want this call out based on a particular view. So now we've got that built into it as a system. So it's pretty cool, but hopefully you don't need to learn anything on your end. You just get to sit here and change parameters, and it's automatically updating. It's interesting that this didn't dimension across the top. Oh, because we're not using my dimension defaults. And they've got Sync Peninsula here. So we're going to rename this view to Sync Peninsula, because that would make a lot more sense as opposed to elevation 10. Peninsula. Yes. And then ditch this because we don't need to see this. Switch this to my NKBA. Make sure we save whatever that is. I noticed a glitch that the save icon's not coming up when we change the active dimension defaults, which is incorrect. It should save. I'm also going to a little pop to pop here. Fill in the side of this guy. David, how are you liking all this music, huh? Isn't it good? Yeah, I think I've drafted so many projects that I know how I want to orient my building right off the bat. So I've never needed to rotate. If I don't know which way I want it, I'll test some things first. I'll draw some preliminary stuff first, send it to layout, and figure out if I need to rotate for the sheet size that I'm using. So that's the thought there. Here's this non-standardized text again, and I don't know why we are constantly using rich text, because it'd be so much easier to just change a text style. All right, let's try this out finally. Dimensions kitchen bath should be turned on. Oh, and we need to change that. Dang it. Selected defaults in KBA, edit our text style. Oh, use layer for text style. Is this a cabinet elevation set? No beams. Oh, it's a different layer set. Okay. There we go. All right, and we're picking up something funny here. Picking up the wall. We don't need to put the wall in this case. What else are we picking up? This mantle, because it's a shelf. Oh, and we're also picking up construction lines, which we don't want on. Let's try this again. And I guess it's okay to show these dimensions. Wish we could lock an arrow direction. Sometimes it's very time consuming to get these to be how I want them. Why are we getting a 0 marker here? And now it's an 18 plus. What's that 18 for anyways? This marker. What's happening here? We all butted. Try a little bumpy. Nope. I have bumps turned off or something. 10 F11. You bumped. Oops. I have a placed cabinet again. You bumped. Are these 24-inch cabinets? What's wrong with me? Oh, they're 25-inch cabinets. Okay. Fine. Sure. I don't need the center line of this appliance. Boy, this one took a lot of cleanup. Our reach was set a little high, I think. Why are we getting two center lines? What's this other center line? Oh, faucet. Funny. Yeah, our reach was set too high on the auto. And then this same issue. There we go. Looking a little cleaner. Now, oftentimes, actually, I don't even need this. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't need this, and I'll show you exactly why. I don't need either of these sides. And I don't even necessarily want to show this, but let's just go ahead and close this view down. It is looking like a pretty good elevation now. So in layout, I will oftentimes do this. Whenever that switches. I'll pull the dimensions here over to the other side. And we'll roll this 1/2 inch, room enough to bubble, and see if we can't get this on the sheet. And then we only need those dimensions on one side, right? Because they carry through. So maybe it is that we do it on this side or we do it on this side, the left side, either way. In fact, I don't necessarily really care about, no one's going to dimension off this 129. No one cares about that. They're going to slam these up against the wall over here. So really, this view could be like this, where our dimensions are past that point. And I'll show you a trick for this. We could back clip this view. So let's go find this view. E9 cooktop wall. I'll show you a little trickety trick. E9 back clip. So need to get to a working plan view where we see all these elevation cameras. There's our E9. I want to side clip this, and I'm actually going to break this. Sometimes we can't do a break on a wall elevation. Is that right? Let's unbind this. Let's do a few things. So let's not clip elevation. Let's break instead. Let's see if I can break now. You gonna give me a break or no? There we go. I'm gonna put this right in front of the wall surface. In fact, we'll put it right in front of the casing. No, we'll put it right up against the casing. And just past it. Now let's look at what this is. We don't want this to show the wall surface. Let's try this with a couple things here. Oh, and it's supposed to be back clipped. Back clip. There we go. Oh, and our back clip is... What am I doing wrong here? I'm not doing this right. Oh, I didn't need to have a jog. I didn't need to have a jog. So, bring this back. And now the back clip is right in front of the wall. And also we should be able to turn back clip's 45, clip to room. And I want a side clip as well. Clip sides. The top clip should retain. Well, I went about this the really slow way, but we're learning. Okay, so now I have a side clip. So now I should be able to clip to here. Get rid of the windows, the beam, all that. Bam! This is what I wanted. So that I could actually copy paste, reflect about, or what? No, you can't do that. You have to just drag this through. Look at that. And then pick and pull these things that we don't care about out of here. Right? Let's pick our overall. Come on. There we go. That's what I wanted right there. Bam, bam, bam. Right there. There. That's looking clean. I don't know why this is way up in the sky. We can always bring this snap. And what was my actual dimension was, what was it, 12-inch offset? And then this one was supposed to be like a 10-inch offset. Something like that. All right, save that view. And now we'll see why this is so cool. Sweet. See, dimension strings are lined up. Got our space in between here. And all we get to do here is bam, do that. We know where these cabinets line up. Like, how sweet is that? That's just looking clean, right? It's looking very clean. Now we just have to figure out how to get it all on the sheet. Yeah. Yeah. I like this a lot. We only got one more view, so maybe we can stack this all the way across, get that one last view. Which should be, which view? It should be this one. So we're basically going to do the same thing. All right, let's see if I can't do it this time in an easier way. So this is elevation 11. We should know how to do this in an easier way. It definitely helps to tile these Let's turn off my side windows. So it's just got as much real estate as possible. And we know that it's this guy. So we want to clip to rooms already enabled, or let's just choose clip to room, uncheck it, and then clip sides is enabled, and then back clip, let's turn that on. And so our back clip needs to be just right in front of our wall. Like that. And then our side clip is going to be right next to our cabinet, like so. I think I'll take this all the way to this kind of intermediate wall. So we show a little bit of wall, like so. And that's looking pretty good. This would be the only reason that maybe we break this line, is that we could push this into the window a little bit if we wanted to. And so if you're looking at the right side, there's that window showing up. Very cool. And let's see, we are in cabinet elevation set, and it's using a different default again, which is funny. That's okay. Elevation 11, this is called refrigeration wall or refrigerator wall. And so all we don't need our left and right sides. You're getting all this from somewhere else, and we know what the cabinet is just from here. Maybe we want to know what the cabinet's overall height is. So we'll leave that in there. Maybe not. Maybe I won't. Yeah, it's got this overall height there. I like this. This looks good. So, I mean, we could cut this view, or we could go back a page and just pop, relink to our refrigerator wall. Contents, color fill, point to point action. Doesn't seem to be wanting to pick a point to point. There it goes. Hold S, right click over, 1/2 inch. Cool. Snap this to this, which should be right there. I don't know why it's not. There we go. Easy peasy. Starting to look pretty clean. I like it. Might just do, might have just, I probably would have shrunk this down a little bit. It's just tough to fit this on the page with these. Also, these labels are just super oversized. So that might be something as well. Let's just take a look at this. What's that do to it? Boy, that makes it, I mean, that's the standard text size I was using everywhere else. It makes it really easy to fit in there, and we know it's still legible. Let's see what that did to everything else. I could size up from there. Let's size up from there. Just double it. Double it would be, no, double it's too big. Let's go. There we go. Now everything's fitting on the page. Does help blank the crowd. It does. And it's super fast to just throw a silly little kitchen in, right? Yeah. I mean, oh, let's try this out. Let's do something fun real quick. Let's pull a little view. He's got a physically based view here. I don't want to mess up, but let's just check it out real quick. Happens in this view. Oh, look at all these funny markers that we're showing. That's a really funny view. I wouldn't show that view, but all right. What happens when let's switch this to vector. Oops, vector, colorless. Vector view. Oh, look, it's got some kind of a wash over the top of it. In this texture here. Funny. No patterns, no color, no shadows. Right? Let's try this out real quick. I did a video on this recently, but let's just give it another shot. Why not? Why not? Let's pull up. For those that didn't catch this video, might be fun. Mid-Journey. And let's just do a little edit. Oops, not from URL. We want to upload what I just screenshotted. If you also didn't catch it, I did a video where I switched the location. I combined through the registry the location of the downloads folder and the screenshots folder. So whenever I take a screenshot, it's in my default download folder. And then I moved all of my document folders to Dropbox. So it's super easy to find screenshots and other stuff on the fly. And so let's just do a little retexture here. Give that a shot. And so it added on Chaos 30, Stylize 800, Weird 900. So we could probably go a little higher on the Chaos, and we could probably go a little lower on the Stylize. And check that out. That's okay. Funny. It's always a funny interpretation like that. Let's let it run free a little bit with Stylize. Let's kick up the Chaos too. Brand banners. Let's make it. I mean, that's kind of fun, right? Let's take a look at this again. You know, if we were just looking for quick looks. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Something that's kind of fun about this to me is I can just pull parts of this out if I liked. And because it's keeping the perspective, we can kind of mess with some stuff in a way. So like, let's just say I'm going to upscale this to my gallery, for instance. And then what I'll do is I'll take something like, in this case, maybe we'll just grab like the light fixtures or the whole island. So this is getting upscaled to my gallery, which is why I got a number 1 under create, and it's showing that it's 31% complete. I was using this guy for some cover art. I recorded a 7-hour drafting session, and I put this on the front cover art to go, why would you watch this? So 63, 78% complete. Let's go. This is going to be up in just a second. So here's the next part of what we'll do is, yeah, we just took a screenshot of this, which was a mistake on my part, because you want to export. Export's going to be a lot more accurate in terms of just overlapping the image you get from Midjourney to this. So that was a big mistake on my part. But here we go. Now we have this. We can copy this image, bring it into Photoshop. Oops, I didn't mean to copy the image first. Okay, Control New, paste it from the clipboard, paste that, come back to Chief, screenshot this again, paste it from the clipboard to Photoshop, like so. Yeah, this was the problem, is I need to line this up somehow because I didn't quite get this perfect. But what's really cool about this is we put one on top of the other, throw a mask in there, and do something like object selection or magic wand tool or object selection tool, we could get this island selected. And then based on that, let's actually delete this layer mask. Let's create a new layer mask. There's the island. So we can pop that island into place very easily if for some reason we like the look of some more islands, right? And then now once we have this, we could then keep popping in islands in place from Midjourney if you wanted to see a bunch of different islands. And do, you know, you're gonna have to do something to kind of blend this into the scene, which would be color balance, where we are affecting just the island layer and trying to get it to kind of blend into the scene a little bit more. Looks like it needs a little less saturation too. Use saturation layer. Right. There you go. Kind of cool, huh? Okay, where am I at here? Yeah, building out all these. These are looking fantastic. Which means I can start to get rid of some of these. Aren't looking fantastic. I almost want to fit all these elevations on one sheet so that I have... How many elevations do we need? You do not need this. This is not needed if you have this. Oh, wait. Well, we do need to have some kind of reference to dimension to where this is. So we get that part. Wonder if you could just do an outline. That'd be kind of clever. Of where that island is. Without having to pull a whole elevation for it. Seems like so much extra. Or the really simple thing would be to avoid having to do all these extra guys, is that we just pull manual dimension tool just for this. That's all we need. Just for that. Just for that. That's all we need. Right? That's it. And the last thing is this. That's all the info I need right there. So that avoids having to build all those extra island. That means we don't need this one. We want this one. And maybe we want this one. So let's see if we can't cut, paste, and maybe we can squeeze these in. Because we don't need to see this extra living area space, and we don't need to see all this. We really only need to see the kitchen layout. I would love it if I got that on that same spot that it's on every single other view. So maybe we'll expand this a little bit. Oops, I can't move that label. All right, so let's go check this out real quick. What do we got here? Same thing we're going to do with this color as we did with the other color. That's that material color. 62, 44, 30. 62, 44, 30. 62, 44, 30. Color. Notice that takes no time anymore, right? Oh, shoot. We have a blend width happening here. So that's that oak course on DC 18 again. All right, so we still have that up too. And this can't just be color, it needs to be multiply or overlay. I think it's just going to be multiply. Yeah, and then I'm going to kick the fill down on it just a little bit. Let's see how close I got with this. So island color. Yeah, really close on that. I didn't quite get it right. And then we get to kick this up some notches. We can always, if we just press OK right now, we can always, I'm going to darken this up just a little bit. Just rolling my mouse wheel. That's all I'm doing. Export it again. Replace it, open up Chief again, use picker, and literally just press OK, and it's going to update that color. And now this is more legible. Sweet. And KBA, save it. Island back. Maybe that's useful. We'll leave it. I don't know why dimension didn't come left to right here. So should be able to just 12 that down. Wait, isn't that confusing? I don't know what this ½ inch is. What are we picking up here? Nothing important, right? This is showing section lines, and we don't want that. CAD clip lines. There we go. And I think that's it. So island back. Label is use callout, edit. Make sure we've got line style kicked on. No value to report until this is linked. That's interesting. Island back, link it. What's your problem, buddy? Oh, strange. Don't know why that's doing that. Let's just grab this one up here. going to find the default layout box and figure out why is this plot lines no color? Oh, there is no option for that here. Why does it revert that? I always forget where that's coming from. There's no options for it. Like, why does it just choose to do something like that? It's very strange. I'm not sure why we're not picking up ceiling here, but maybe we'll just draw in a CAD line. It's not beyond just drawing in a CAD line. Well, look at this. We're getting everything on this sheet, 100%. So we get to delete this one. So we're going to be building out more. So roll this up in KBA. Let's delete all dimensions. Bam. Okay, island front is the name. No, I don't want to show CAD clip lines. Can delete this guy. Cool. Standardize text. Even the arrow styles, I like to standardize if I can help it. Cool. I'm just going to use manual dimension tool with the NKBA because I should be able to just bam. Oh, weird. I really didn't pick up. Hold on. There we go. Should be able to pop this down plus 12. And that's it. Easy. Stitch this, bring this over, S key, slide over, relink it, island front. Boy, I wish this went as fast as my brain went. Like, bam, relink, done. Wouldn't that be nice? How can we use this tool? It's a recenter layout box. Weird. It's not. Wasn't recentering. Weird. How can we use this tool to? I wish this was a snappable tool. Oh, don't do that. Don't mouse wheel. All right, so let's open this up. Mouse wheeling's bad. Should be able to pop, pop, S, slide over, right, kind of clip this if we can, something like that. Island front, island back. All right, so what am I doing that's checking a bunch of marks for me? Because there's a few things we did here that really check some boxes, which I love checking boxes. So one is, let's just pop in a little line here and make sure that we are putting these in line, right? The labels are in line now. Same thing, I want to make sure those labels need to be in line, baby. Just like that. So the big one is we got all this stuff on the page, but I landed this label right on the spot I wanted to. I landed this label right on the spot that I wanted to. So that it conforms across all sheets. I just love this, man. I love it. Now let's work on a cabinet schedule that might look a lot better than what we got here. Maybe I'll also steal my own, right? Maybe I'll go steal my own. What can we do? I have a tool that will automatically add a bunch of info to all these cabinets in the working plan, and that is this guy right here, plan transfer tool. Marquee. And is that going to mess anything up? I don't think so. You know, I didn't need to do that to all, because that applies to all windows, rooms, and doors. So maybe instead, we'll do plan level, but paint cabinet. Plan level, but paint wall cabinet. That means it'll just paint all wall cabinets in the plan, not windows and doors. Paint the full height cabinet. All right, so that should have worked. And then I want to go steal cabinet tool. I want to go steal the schedule here. This schedule right here. So I'm going to copy this schedule. In fact, I could just come into the project browser, come into this new plan, CAD details, get into schedules, cabinet, and copy, paste CAD detail, schedule, cabinet. Right. And then send to layout. And look at that. Big fat boy. So, what's the thought here? Let's move this schedule out of the way for now. And I'm going to populate this here and here. First of all, we need to conform. We're probably not going to include this title heading because it's too wide, right? So that doesn't make sense. But I want this to be on the layer, line style layout box borders on. So that does put a cut border on it. And then that way, you've never seen this video before. I've done this video before too. Look, I'm just going to take this right inside this line right here. Okay. Now I'm going to copy this down and I'm going to extend this out. And it's important that I copied it down. And then I get to snap it to the other one. And now this is a continuation of the previous schedule, which I get to populate down here, bring it down 1/2 inch, bam. And same thing is I'm going to clip this to just inside this piece. So we just have a few cabinets left to put on the next page. Let's duplicate this page. Now this is a duplicate page. So what are we doing next? We are bringing this forward to finish this up. Snap this to here. Okay. I missed one detail here, actually. Let me go back. Let's actually just delete this page. Okay, let's go back. I missed one detail. Here's the detail I missed. Copy, paste, paste, hold, grab this, and we're getting the column headings in the beginning here. Okay, now we can pop to pop. And now we have those column headings here. Let's see if we can fit this whole thing on the page. We can. So that's cool. That worked out great. So check that out. Isn't that cool? Let's grab all these real quick and suppress the label. And now we'll duplicate it. Now this is our duplicate, right? We want to extend this past, extend this to the tail end of this. Excuse me. What do I want to do? I need to set a little inference marker here, a little line right there. Okay. Send this back, pop this to that line. And we can actually pop it just inside of that line, so we're not getting like double lines set up here. Bam. That's our last piece of the puzzle. That's our last one. So we delete this one, take this, pop to pop. We're still calling out the same cabinet information. Here is also a last piece that I forgot, which was I had some totals on here. One of the things I'm going to get rid of is this estimated cost of markup part. But the quantity totals are going to be pretty important. 40 units. Actually, quantity totals aren't that important. Box volume might have been interesting. So we might get rid of the totals row. Who knows? I could just cut it just by, I could just do this. That would be simple. There. Simple. So we got 2 levels of cabinetry notes and finishes. This might be an opportunity to put just a copy of this, right? Could just put a copy of that here. But yeah, let's get rid of this guy. Since we have the room, maybe I'll redo this one more time. So paste hold, there's this. So we could get real clever and have this on both sheets. Right? Paste hold, bring this forward. Whatever this is, pop it to this. Cut this. Page forward, paste it. Get rid of this. Pop this up to here. We got one more cut to do. Right, paste, hold. I want to come back one, copy, paste, hold, point to point. There we go. So now we have this for reference on both of these order sheets. And then it kicks the elevations. That's clean. That's so clean. If you can't build this kitchen, something's wrong with you. Let's actually bring this forward a little bit. I want to see if there's any other graphical elements that I might be able to align this cabinet schedule with, because I am that OCD. I am that OCD guy. I want to bring this in line with this. So you could almost, let's see, you do a point-to-point where we use this as an inference, hold S so you don't pick up any other things. How far can we get an orthogonal snap? So there's my snap. Hold S, come up, pick up that snap, point to point. Isn't that cool? And then let's just do a little PP, place point, grab this one, same thing. There we go, clean on the page. So another delete, got rid of that point, cool. Looking like a professional did this. Looking like a professional did this. We might even be able to get a segment like this too. But this is a different cabinet schedule. We probably could have pulled out cabinet schedules based on rooms. That might have been really cool. Maybe I will go do that. Dang it. Because that would make more sense. Because then we could do this same kind of feature, right? So how do you do that? Well, you come to this. I don't need to necessarily make, yeah, why not? Schedule cabinet, schedule cabinet. Let's just call this kitchen cab schedule. If I can spell. I also usually break out fillers from other things. And let's duplicate this. We're going to call this path cab schedule. Now we have a duplicate schedule. Keep that in mind. So you have to come in here and designate which rooms you're using for this. Include objects from all floor. So it's the exact opposite, clear all, and we're going to choose kitchen dining for this. Which that was interesting. Some of the things in some of those other rooms are creating much taller cabinets. Where's our pantry units here? Oh, there's our refrigerator pantry unit. All right, so it's a different height schedule now. And then let's switch to this bath cabinet schedule. And kind of the same thing is that we are, I don't know which bath we're doing, so let's just clear all. Primary bath, yeah, let's do that. Right. And let's see what we got to work with now. So this is still linked correctly. And it just has one leftover cabinet. Boy, wouldn't it be great if we could get that in somehow. One cabinet left. Dang. I mean, I could cut this view more. I could shrink the column headings. Yeah, I want to get it on this one page, so we're gonna just, yeah, it's one cabinet left, dang it. If we shrink this, I'm gonna shrink a couple of these headings here. That should be able to do it. Or if I pulled this partition out, that would have done it. Can we get this next cabinet? No. So it needs to be that one. Oh, we got everything in there, but still not quite. Yeah, I'm just going to be annoying and do this somehow. I'm going to force it. Force the issue. There we go. Now it's in there. So that's C14. And what do we got here? Yeah, that cuts this here. And now we need to cut this here. There we go. Whole kitchen installed on this bad boy. And since we got a cut marker here, let's just do that. Right? Something like that. Let's get rid of this other schedule so we don't have duplicate cabinet schedule numbers. That's looking real sharp. It's too bad you can't group, select, and link things. It's not possible currently, because we're going to end up linking that to bath cabinet schedule. We'll delete this, or I mean, we didn't necessarily need to delete it. It's just we're taking this. And now I got to figure out how to get this on the page in a way that makes sense. It's got 2 bathrooms on this view. We could probably get rid of these cabinetry notes. And in which case, it'd be easy to just populate this over here. When you do point-to-point, if you hold the Shift key, it will bind orthogonically. Orthogonically, good word. Orthogonally. Maybe we'll just have a little note about see previous note, right? Wouldn't that make sense? See previous page for cabinet finishes, blah, 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 blah. Right. I agree. That would make a lot of sense. So we got primary bathroom, we got bath 2. So that's what we need to have, both of these. Alt window fill and bath 2. Cool. And that's a simple little schedule. So maybe we could have kept those notes in there. It's a tiny little schedule. So I'm back to thinking we put this right. Dead center. We do my standard. Use call out label. Make sure the line style is kicked on. Oh, we didn't want that. Never mind. Main cabinets. Oh, we changed the saved plan view of this. Save plan view name of this needs to be changed. I'm going to cut this a little bit more. No. Actually, I want to bring this up. Bring this up. Bring this down. Cool. That's another heading zone, so that works. Cool. Save plan view as. Upstairs baths. Why not? Is my plan set looking professional yet? Actually, going to change this line style. Line style off. I'm going to draw my own cuts in here. I like that better, anyways. And we want to exchange this one with the previous page so that when we flip forward, we have this, then that. And then the bathroom's isolated. So how's everything looking? Man, is this looking beautiful. Only I could finish it. I still haven't even seen. Oh no, what happened here? What happened here? Kitchen and bath dimensions must be turned on. Pause, please. I got a phone call. So what happened here? Somehow I got more dimensions in here than ever should have been. I don't want to use the delete dimension tool because it's going to take away all my manual interior dimensions, which would be a real bad pain in the butt. So what we could do is kick on set up automatic auto refresh. And hopefully that will fix that. It did not. I don't know what's going on here. What a pain. Yeah, I don't know why this just like tripled up our dimensions for some reason. Boy, what a shame that is, because I have a bunch of manually placed interior dimensions that are perfect. I guess a simple way of doing this is switching to intersected mode and selecting them that way. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Very interesting. Just gotta be careful not to hit any of these construction lines. What a shame. Did I somehow change reach? Yeah, very strange. Boy, it doesn't want to let me grab these. Use the dimension tool. Shift select them. Okay. All right, let's try this again. There. That was strange. Okay. That's why it's helpful to go check your plan every once in a while. Okay, bam, 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 bam. I mean, I don't like this. This header schedule from these header schedules. I know what this is going on here. So I needed to take this and this into a new add detail. So if I come back to this beam schedule, so if we copy paste beam schedule, which we know is correct, so duplicate and then its header schedule is the new detail, and then come back into here, copy these, paste hold, which put them up here, and on some different layer, let's put them back onto default layer. And for some reason they're rotated. And then pop this into there and delete this. And so there's our header schedule detail. Close that, come back to layout, and go back to that page where all I'm doing is taking this here, copy, come forward, paste, and replace, relink to header schedule. Keep layout contents in place, yes, and then just expand this. Should be all that we need to do. And then when we get back into this, we can get rid of this. Is that view? And that's looking correct, all except for that total square foot, whatever this is, which we can put down here. There. Now we're conformed. Bam. So when we flip page, oh, except for that, here's our second point that we need, right? So this really should be that. It's rich text, copy. Let's just delete this and paste. Just a longer schedule. Close that down. Pop this to here. Bring this down. All headers not call out shall be a minimum of, maybe we'll put this little note at the bottom somewhere else so that we can fit this whole thing on here. Boy, would that be nice. Or I could do a little bit of work, which I wouldn't mind doing, and taking all of this, let's switch to contain selection mode, get all these contained. And maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. Now we can use that header schedule on different views if we need to. Wouldn't mind putting layout box borders on door schedule so that we could match up row height as well. I wish they had like kind of like union subtraction tools for this kind of stuff, so that we could copy paste, bring over, snap to, blah blah blah. All right, so here's a trick here: is layout box borders on. Same thing. At least now we have like this container that kind of lines up. Not getting the individual grid rows. The other thing that we could do is come in here and let's see, Shifty takes me to the view. Yeah. And add one more row. Minimum rows. So let's see. 17, so 18. Gives me one more row. Yeah. There. Yeah, I'm okay with this. We could do this. Could. Does fit. Could do this. There's room for more info here. We need to maybe do a little 3D view, something, who knows. Oh, well, maybe we can get these elevations on that other sheet. Wouldn't that be slick? Slick as snot. Oh, there's a lot more work here. Oh, but I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Still haven't gotten to plan check review, which was the whole point of this video. And we're not playing with AI anymore, are we? So maybe we should change that too. Chewing very slowly. Chewing very slowly. I wish I was chewing less. And just finishing the meal. Oh. I need to be standing because I got a tailbone spike. Where the heck have you been, by the way, Mr. Ball? I have not seen your name in a long time, my friend. And it was enjoyable seeing your name. When I would see it. Back in the day. Yeah, where the heck have you been? This is not needed. I do not need to see a 21-inch. I don't need to see this. This is just, nope, don't need it. Care less about it. So get rid of it. Look at that box border. That's funny. Sitting room cabinets. I don't know what's the deal with that. Sitting room isn't in here that I can tell. E15. Where's E15? Let's see if we can find E15. E15 is here. Yeah. So why do we have it on this view? We don't know. So let's not put it on this view. And so we squeeze it in. Yeah, I don't need to see that. So I'm almost going to put that on a different page. Which means we get to get rid of these. And this is going to be the sitting room page. And then this, we get to, I think we get to just cut these. These are our bathrooms. I think elevation 16 and 18. 18 is here. Oh, this is first floor. This isn't upstairs. So this is not primary. What was this? This is, so I screwed this up. Oh, no, that is primary. All right, master bath. So yeah, all I'm doing is taking these two, cut, and oh, dang it. That was dumb. Some of these are outlines. Cut, paste, 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 paste. And let's clean these up. Well, I hope you're doing well, Justin. I really do. Can't tell you how much I appreciated you and your input and all your help in the various things that I was doing. And really pushing and motivating. So, in a very nice way. Primary bath front. Spelled the word primary wrong there. Oops. Whatever that was. This condition for vanity base should have been end panel or filler. And what is this? Is it not a filler? It is a filler. Oh, so my macro is screwed up. This is how you find out if all your tools work. It's so hard to find, run into some of this stuff sometimes. So the condition somewhere in here is looking for vanity base. So we need to come back and fix that. The vanity base portion of this particular macro is not quite working correctly. It still needs to check for fillers or end panels, such as we check for the rest of the cabinetry in the beginning of this script. Let's see if it'll pump out an answer. I love it when it works. It took me a long time to train my AI, the places I use AI, so that it fixes things for me. I added a helper method is bathroom to centralize the bathroom detection logic. Added a helper method is filler or panel to check the fillers and panels. I always am wary of it changing an entire code, so that can be a real problematic thing. Is end panel width less than 5th, and because the previous code, the width less than 5, I think I gave that as a user control option. So I need to double check that real quick. Oh no, I didn't. Well, that should be a user controlled option. They should be able to, an end user should be able to determine what the threshold is for the width of a particular panel. Maybe I'll build that out in the next version. So let's see what happens if we just paste this in. So I picked up that that's an end panel, which is great. That's what we wanted. Although, actually, no, it should technically be filler. Everything else is reporting correctly. For some reason, this isn't checking filler. This particular cabinet that I just tested this on does have the designation that it is a filler. So your code for filler is incorrect. And actually, I'm seeing where that is right now. What the heck is filler desk.downcase? Where is desk? Is filler or panel desk? Where are you getting that from? So let's see. So in the case of a cabinet, if we go look at object properties short and look for filler, should be is filler is the question. It's typically it's posed question. It's a true false class. So is, oh, it doesn't have an is filler. We got to get to a plan view, and then where is this? This is here, right? There's our filler. Let's just pop this in here, use a little search tool. Oh, that's so annoying. Sideways thing. And filler is the check. Base cabinet filler string automatic. It's in automatic description is the only place we find filler. That seems very strange to me. That seems very strange to me. How about type? Very strange to me. Okay. So an automatic description. Where are we defining DSC? Okay. we check for the presence of filler as a downcase search through automatic underscore description. Yeah, see, it just decided to screw up the rest of the script on its own, and I would have ran into problems, I'm sure. You also have to check that your AI isn't omitting sections because it doesn't think that you need that portion of the code, that it's just correcting a particular portion of code and that's it. Because it will suddenly change your whole code and the function of that code. All right, so let's try this again. We got end panel 2 here. Just picking up cabinet label and cabinet base label, and let's go. Filler 1, cool, figured it out. Did anything else change? No. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Very cool. Now I should do that with my wall. I will. I'll do that with. Perfect. Apply the same fixes to the following. And we'll get that wall cabinet one done as well. Oh, I forgot. I got to end this pretty soon. We're going to end this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes is what we'll do. Wall cabinet, bam, and then full height cabinet. Perfect. Apply this to this next script as well. Okay. And I need to make sure cap base level finish, cap full level, cap price, cap side panel, cap wall label, cabinet label, cabinet doors, drawers, cabinet label 2. This is one that's old and I don't need it. Cap openings, CAD label, column number, ceiling height adjuster. Oh, I added some cool new stuff in here. Object properties. I don't really need the default object properties guy. I just want long and short. And that's default. Yeah, no, I don't need it. Oh, okay. And then random facts there is test. Do not need test 4 anymore. And we probably don't need test 2 anymore. It's just testing how to just create a formatter. Okay. Window door with window label wrap. All right. Now let's Control A, export. All macros, change the date. And that way I'll make sure to import these and test them before I implement that nice little fix that we just did. And look at that, it picked up filler 2 there. Cool. Right? That's how we want it. That's how we want it. There's multiple cabinets here, I guess. Oh, no, okay. But multiple schedules, which we know. All right, NKBA, bam. Should be able to, I'm gonna manually do this. Simple. 12. Right. And this one's stuffed up against the wall, so we just get to do that and that. Why is that not picking up? Why isn't that not picking up our cabinet? Huh. That's strange. Cool. And we already saved this as a name, right? Primary bathroom. Yep. Shut it down. In fact, I wouldn't mind shutting down a lot of these. Values to report to until this is linked. Isn't that funny? Linked view. Let's just relink it then. Primary bath front. I don't know why it does that. I'm just gonna move its location or something. Okay. Why is it doing that though? I don't like that. Why is it doing that? Let's just grab this. Yes, please move up to the X16 Pro plan, Doug. Please. It's so much easier. So much easier than the X15 versions. It's not even close, man. Let's see, where do I have these? I got a place point here. And there's the floor. Okay, so place point. Oh, this is no values. Dink and dink, 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 and dink, 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 dink. There we go. That looks correct. Cool. I'm going to be able to get all this on this sheet. That's kind of the point. Is a question my ability to actually grasp some of this. The Pro Plan X16 was meant to make it so that you weren't having problems in questions. I took a lot of, I brought in a lot of automation. That single click automation that just makes it so much easier. Like area analysis is just done as soon as you draw. You don't actually have to manipulate polyline boxes. Labels automatically truncate and stuff for you. The match system in the cabinet labels like 20 times better than it used to be. It's going to fix a lot of things for you. It's going to make a lot of things easier for you. Even the layout linking is easier. So I would really suggest you move up to that one because it's going to make a big difference. I don't even need to dimension this. There's no point in dimensioning this. I guess we will. Oh, wrong dimension. Look how much better my dimension defaults are than the ones that were in there. That's what I'm talking about, man. I redid all the dimension defaults in X16's version 2. They work so much better. There's so many improvements, you know, make your life easier. Yeah, I really did go through and try to make everything easier in the X16 versions. Even the detail designations are easier. And if I ever get around to it, the next versions of those will be even easier again. It's just going to take a lot of work on my part to finish those next versions, but so strange that this, oh, I forgot to check keep plan stuff in blah blah blah. Dang it. Let's see if I can grab as well. Are these off? Are these off? Yeah, they're off. Is that off? Dang it. Okay. And that's how you do it, baby. So clean. So I get to delete this one. Oh, I'm almost done. Almost done. The plan check. Oh boy. All right, I gotta end the stream. So glad those of you that are in here hung in. If you're watching this after the fact, if you're watching this in the live section, let me know in comments if you've got any questions over any of the stuff that I did here. This is going to be maybe a PDF I share when we're finally finished, because I'm proud of it. It's looking really good. Just looking really, really good. I'm sorry I didn't get to do any plan check stuff. I mean, that's really what I need to do, actually. I need to get this off my plate. I'm just giving away free work here just to make this plan set look really clean. But it's a particularly difficult municipality to get through. This is up in South Lake Tahoe, and I'm just trying to better their chances by making it look really, really readable. Yeah. I just see something I didn't notice before that I need to fix now. Here's some additional braced wall panels that I need to finish and put in here. But yeah, thanks for joining. See you next time.